Project. Today I'm interviewing John Best. So, Mr. Best, what was life like before your transplant?
Well, before the transplant, from a young child to an older adult, I started having difficulty doing simple tasks, working around the house, doing chores, things like that. And the older I got, the worse it got. I tried different medications, tried different medical procedures, even had a couple open heart surgeries before then, but nothing really helped. It just got progressively worse as time went on.
Okay, and what was life like after the transplant?
After the transplant, the thing I remember most vividly was swimming. I had been an avid swimmer, scuba diver, the whole thing, my entire life. And after the transplant, I went in the pool underwater. This is not right away, but about 6 or 7 months later. I went in the pool, held my breath, and I could not believe the difference. What it was like to be underwater and hold your breath without heart failure. I now understand why people enjoy it so much. It didn't feel like I was drowning the whole time.
That's interesting. Well, we're here in Ocean Park Rescue Squad. So I hear that you have really changed the rescue squad ever since you joined.
Well, Ocean Park, when I started, we basically had a schedule that was on a dry erase board that we used dry erase markers. So you never really knew if you were going to have a partner. You never really knew if the ambulance was going to be manned. Once I became squad commander here, we changed all that. We had it so that you submitted a schedule a month ahead of time. You were assigned your duty with your partner and maybe a third person or even a fourth person if we had a lot of people in training at the time. All these crews were basically assigned that shift. So it became more of like a job you just didn't get paid for instead of something you just showed up and did when you felt like it. So not only did it make our lives a lot easier, but the community was better served because we were manned on a more reliable and regular basis. In addition to the manning, myself and my assistant squad commander, we helped establish a regional training program. So all of our new folks coming in got the exact same training. And with it standardized, patient care dramatically improved. Our patient satisfaction rates went up, and even our donations increased. So it wasn't just what I did, it was the entire team becoming more motivated, more excited, and more involved in the station business.
I see. Well, how did your transplant affect your rescue capabilities?
Well, leading up to the transplant, I noticed that I was not able to keep up with my peers. The other guys and gals in the rescue squad were faster, quicker, had more stamina. I knew I was really getting sicker. After the transplant, I was able to come back, and I'd been out so long, about 5 years, I had to go back through the EMT class again. Very, very easy to keep up with, the 18 to 24-year-olds, and now I'm in my late 40s. So the transplant made a huge difference. I was able to do anything any normal person would do. The only exception being, with a depressed immune system, I have to be very careful around anyone that is exhibiting signs and symptoms of like the flu. I always have to make sure, which we do anyway, that I use gloves on every call. And if someone is coughing vigorously or vomiting, either I put a mask on, or if the patient's okay with it, the patient puts a mask on. It just depends on the situation.
Okay. So you said you're in your late 40s, correct?
That's right, 47.
How long ago was it that you joined EMS?
28 years ago. I was 19, just turned 19.
Wow.
Now, I started the fire department when I was 18, but unfortunately, the fire department physical was much more rigorous than the EMS physical at the time. They're pretty equivalent now, but at the time, it was a lot of, hey, if you want to be on the fire truck, go run on the ambulance. That's easier. I would argue with just about anybody that's not the case anymore.
I see. Well, what is some advice that you could give anybody going through something like you went through with a heart transplant?
I think it's important to have faith, number one. Know that there is a greater plan. Know that even if the worst happens, you're still going to be okay. Those you love are going to be okay. The outcome may not be what you want, but there is something greater on the other side. So don't go into it with paralyzing fear. Go into it, educate yourself, talk to your doctors, leave no stone unturned. You might be told no 6 times before you get a yes. Make sure you keep track of all your medications, make sure you're an active part of your healthcare plan, make sure your family is at least aware, and make sure you have plans in place if something does happen and you need to take care of your family without you.
Okay. What made you want to join EMS at such a young age?
Well, I think my family has a lot of military history, and I think that inspired me to serve, I'll say, my country first. With a heart problem, significant heart problem like I had growing up, there was no way that the military was an option for me. So even though I was a computer programmer at age 12, by the time I was 18 years old, I was a very good computer programmer. There was still no place for me in the military. However, the fire department and the rescue squad, I could serve my community without having to be in the military. So that was the route I chose, was the community service of the rescue squad.
Okay. What advice would you give anybody wanting to join EMS?
Well, the first thing I would say is graduate high school. Make sure you get good grades. Take a lot of courses. The second thing I would say is get your driver's license as soon as you can and begin driving. That's going to give you more experience when you actually get behind the wheel of an emergency vehicle. The third thing I would say is take it very seriously. It is like a job that you don't get paid for. People's lives really do depend on you and your performance. So do your best.
All right. Well, thank you. I think that's all the time we have today.
Thank you.
Any closing remarks?
No, I wish you the best of luck with your project, and to your classmates, I wish you all the best of luck in your whatever you do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's gonna fight for what's right? Who's gonna help us survive? We're in the fight of our lives. We're not ready to